Hi there, it's Mr. Smith. In this video I'm going to be going over section 1.6, more equations and applications. Mrs. Smith is making chocolate chip cookies in the background. I have been bribed. This is one of the disadvantages of also being a math teacher. Anyway, let's get started. So it says the distance d in miles that an observer can see on a clear day is approximated by d is equal to 49 over 40 times the square root of h. So in this case, h is the height of the observer in feet. If Joe can see 24.5 miles, that would be our distance, or d. How far above the ground is his eye level? And h is the height of the observer in feet. All right, so we're looking for h. So let's write the formula down. D is equal to 49 over 40 times the square root of h, which we don't know h. Excuse me. And we're going to plug in our d value. And solve for h. So first of all, we're going to want to isolate the radical. And so to do that, we can multiply by the reciprocal here of 49/40. So basically, we're multiplying each side by 40 over 49. And we're going to end up with, I'm going to go ahead and put the square root of h on the left. And if you multiply 40 over 49 times 24.5, you will get 20. You can just use your calculator to do that. Remember to put a fraction in, you just hit alpha y equals button. So you should get 20 when you multiply this out. And so now think about how you're going to get h by itself. You get to do the opposite of finding a square root. So you're going to square both sides. And so, of course, if you're squaring the square root of h, you're just going to get h, since taking a square root and squaring are opposites. And on the other side, you get 400. Now remember, h was in feet, so your answer here is 400 feet. On number 2, we got a tomato plant. Oops, let me move this out of the way. Is purchased at a garden supply store. The initial height of the plant is 25.4 inches. The height is that. The height of the plant, which is h, in inches, is approximated by this equation here. H equals 16 times the quantity t plus 4 to the 1/3 power, which, remember, that's the same as the cube root, although we'll just leave it as it is, where t is the time in days after planting. So determine the height of the plant 14 days after planting. So that's pretty straightforward. Remember, t is the time in days, so that's our t. So we're just going to plug in t into the formula. So let's see, we got 16 times 18 to the 1/3 power. And I would just throw that into the calculator. Just make sure that your power is 1/3. Make sure it's in the exponent. And you should get 41.9319. And we'll just round that to 42 inches. remember the height was in inches. It says, how long after the plant is planted will it take for the height to reach 5 feet? So this time h is 5 feet. It says round to the nearest day. So we're looking for t. Now, keep in mind that it said height was in inches, and so we're going to want to change the 5 feet to inches. Of course, there's 12 inches in a foot, and so that would be 60 inches. And so we have 60 is equal to 16 times t plus 4 to the 1/3 power. And first of all, it's kind of like what we did up here, where we had to isolate the radical first. That's what we want to do first here. This is actually the same as the cube root of t plus 4. You may recall that exponents lead to radicals, or you can write an expression like this as a radical. So we're going to go ahead and divide by 16 to get that part by itself. And I'm just going to simplify that. 60 over 16, those are both divisible by 4. You'll get 15 over 4 equals t plus 4 to the 1/3 power. And so basically what we want to do is raise this to the 3rd power. And we'll have to do that to the other side as well. And so 1/3, basically if you have a power to a power, you multiply the exponents. And 3 times a third is just 1. So you're going to be left with t plus 4 here. And on the other side, you could plug that into your calculator, and you should get about 48.7344. So they said round to the nearest day. Oops, I forgot to, you know what, I forgot to subtract the 4. Let me fix this. It was actually 15 over 4 cubed, but we need to subtract 4. I just realized I didn't do that. Oops, let me go ahead and pull this down. I'm off the grid. So we cubed each side, and we got t plus 4 here. We're subtracting 4, so t is equal to 15/4 to the 3rd power minus 4. And so that's where I got the 48.7344, which is about 49 days if you round to the nearest day. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and stop the video here, and we'll just kind of break this up into parts. So this is the first part.